Alright, here we go, game 1. BeLit with his 1700 MMR on this account. But if you've seen his other account, he goes quite a bit lower, sometimes into like 1580 range. And I think JDelrio himself was 1580 range like literally a week ago, so maybe he's just had a bad streak recently, dropping to 1480 now. But we'll see what he can do. JDelrio was a late addition to the Gauntlet. We, originally had a certain order of players, but then there was a few additions. Buzzkill was somewhat of an addition just because we didn't know when he was going to play, and then he ended up playing later in. And then we had JDelrio and TLebit join the clan fully just recently, and we ended up fitting JDelrio into the Gauntlet. It was kind of late to add TLebit in because the MMR gap was a bit too much at this point, but JDelrio is like kind of shows up at around the right time where he can play, so that's what we have. And so yeah, let's get to the game. Top right spawn, we have JDelrio, and he'll be going Blade Master. We got the shop already up, so he's going to creep a camp. We got a grunt coming out, and
a player's forces are
the 20 food peon. On the other side, BeLit, aka fattsrussell, will be going the Demon Hunter and the level 2 creep with the ogre. I've seen BeLit almost always go for this camp. I think he just likes getting level 2 at the start, particularly if he can get like a greater healing, I guess. But I do notice he does quite often have a bit of a sketchy time creeping this, where you can see his Ancient War take a lot of damage, or his hero starts to take damage. And yeah, we are going to have his hero take around 100 damage, which does hurt, but not, game losing or anything. And he did get a greater mana, so no greater heal, no invuln. Wisp passed by JDelrio. Looks like he just wants to buy the circlet and maybe the dust and head over. Just going to be the circlet. Wants to get here to try to steal a creep, but he's too late for the big Murloc. But will get the small Murloc. Sitting at 80 XP now, but Demon Hunter's already level 2. And now he needs to be a bit careful of getting continuously burned. Ooh, burn barely latches in time. Another minus 50. And now JDelrio, where does he want to go with this? Uses another Windwalk to purchase the dust. I wonder if he wanted the dust the first time, but didn't manage to buy it quick enough. And he's gonna actually try to go for this Flesh Eater, but BeLit is coming right back out. Looks like he just did a quick heal, and JDelrio will get the creep. Will he get the item though? He will not. I think it's actually a wise choice to just get out there by JDelrio. If he went for the item, he may have very well got surrounded. The creeps were all right here. He was kind of almost blocked here. But getting the XP is still pretty big. And BeLit going to lose an archer here. Dust is used. The ensnare does not reveal it to your opponent, only to the creeps. So dust was needed. We got the double burrow coming up. JDelrio going for the single burrow tech. So his second and third grunts are much later. But in return, he gets to buy a bunch of items. He gets the salve, he gets the circlet, he gets the dust, and he gets his tech timing. Does lose the peon, but he actually produced an extra peon. So he went to 21 food with that extra food that Orc now has from their Great Hall. Oh, he's actually just going to go for the Ogre Snipe. This is actually pretty huge to take this item, but he will be taking a lot of damage. However, level 2 will be very nice for the Orc. It is a lot of damage though. But a circlet is the reward, not bad. I'm actually curious how Circlet compares to the other items at this drop table at this camp. BeLit's like, where's the creeps? Okay, I thought he was gonna miss them, but he is gonna clean them up. This will be his own level 3. If he keeps the Demon Hunter here, he's actually leaving with the Demon Hunter. Odd choice. I think getting the level 2 mana burn is pretty crucial. Not to mention it's not that much XP to get there. But I don't hate giving all the XP to the Pit Lord either, because he is the hard carry in the end. And we're going to have a TC Bestiary Totem from JDelrio. So this should be either hit and run, would be the common choice with TC, or I guess some sort of timing. But yeah, generally if you go for a timing, it would be Shadow Hunter, right? Oh, I think he just attacked his own TC on accident. Yeah, it should be hit and run. JDelrio running from the Demon Hunter, but it's a solo Demon Hunter, and he doesn't even have mana on his TC to worry about. Like, this is level 2 DH. TC already has aura instead of a spell. I think he very well could have just turned and started putting damage on the DH instead. BeLit manages to get Hellstone from the center. Level 2.3 on the Pit Lord. BeLit's looking pretty strong so far. JDelrio is going to have to make something happen soon. He hasn't crept his expansion yet either, so he doesn't even have the option to throw up an expo right now. As you can see, he's putting up another burrow already as well. Yeah, I'm curious where this is going to go, because the clock's kind of ticking. Like, once this Pit Lord reaches 3, once these bears have master training, Orb is unlocked for the DH. I'm not sure if the Orc army does well enough as is without an expansion. Blade will get the kill, and nice wind walk. Gets only a -14. The DH actually ends up losing more mana than the Blade there. And Blade gonna try to do some chip damage here, but needs to be careful. Although the Pit Lord also does take a lot of damage from this, so I don't hate it. Maybe could have stayed a little longer with the Blade. Looks like he wants to maybe creep the center real quick, distract with the Blade. Ooh, and Rejuve's coming in now. Rejuve used on the Archer though, that was not a good choice. And JDelrio comes in for the bear snipe. Does he get the first bear? Oh my, the last little tick of damage. Huge pick off from JDelrio. Getting those first bears is insane. I think there was even a creep left here. I think that the item was picked up, right, with Talisman? But one of the level 5 creeps or whatever they are is left. JDelrio wants to do a hit and run. However, BeLit is still in his base after TPing. He bought his orb, and well, JDelrio is just not suited to fight that in the base. But out of the base, he could potentially get some kills and then speed scroll out after. But this Orc army isn't super powerful, and he doesn't have level 3 yet. Oh, and every hit of this Demon Hunter is crazy strong. DH has no TP though. Could BeLit just lose his hero? We got Stomp coming in. Is this enough damage? Is there enough ensnares? No, Hellstone passed. Nice by BeLit to pass that Hellstone. Another bear as well with the Rejuve coming in. And suddenly JDelrio is like, well, later, I'm out. Speed scroll. But this is, oof, that's not the first the sort of engagement you want to take as Orc. This opens up his expansion to get spotted. Yeah, BeLit's even gonna go there first. No, he's actually gonna creep a camp first. This gives JDelrio some time. BeLit should still be able to cancel the expo, but if JDelrio gets some nice snipes on the ranged units, or run straight past to BeLit's main, he could buy time for his expo to get up. Yeah, he's gonna go straight for the archers, but the Pit Lord's already 3. The Howl is coming out. Level 2 cleave unlocked. The Raiders are dying super quick to the bears. Does JDelrio have enough? The Dryad's going to fall though. That's always huge, because then the elf doesn't have as much catch. But this orc army is just going to have way too much trouble healing up at this point. JDelrio needs to somehow snipe the one weak bear. Also, BeLit somehow used... Oh. Oof. JDelrio going in. He's got so many weak units though. He really needs a heal scroll, but never managed to get to the shop to buy it. And his army's just falling to the cleave. Level 3 for the blade will keep him alive. But now we have the keeper for BeLit as well. That's going to provide some entangle support. That's going to be the extra catch he needs. I mentioned him not having catch after that Dryad dies, but with the keeper here, you got another potential orb carrier for the future. And you have a hero that can catch units. There is, of course, walkers, but their mana is limited. JDelrio does get his expo up, but with 3 full health heroes and a bear, this expo is not going to really be doing much. JDelrio needs to find a way to do something that is probably going to have to involve hit and run. There's just no way he can easily fight the elf army right now. This bear army from elf, you really have to get ahead of it from the start and either win the game around 50 to 60 food with heal scrolls, or tower push sometime around then, or you can do the expo play, but you need, like, you know, spiked barricades, some towers, and maybe the expo a little bit sooner as well. Yeah, JDelrio gonna try to defend in his base. He does have a couple Kodos, which could get some good devours off, but there is more bears than Kodos, not to mention Entangle that could potentially slow them down. The Walker is forgotten in the back. The TC not quite out, but will be arriving in a second. And this Pit Lord is just going to work. Level 4, not to mention the Demon Hunter with Quel'Thalas and Orb is just such a threat. We do have 2 bears eaten. Oh, but the Entangle, nice disenchant, but not enough. The blade will fall. GG is called. JDelrio will fall in game 1. Honestly, if he wasn't so far behind at that point and had those Kodos like sooner in the earlier fights, maybe it actually wouldn't have looked so bad, right? Like if he just eats some of the bears and then like pulls back and hides. But yeah, did not work out how he wanted. All right, here we go. Game 2 on Tidehunters. Spawning top left, our yellow orc, JDelrio, had a bit of a rough game 1. Never really hit those crucial level ups to 3. Never really got the heal scrolls. And just didn't get his expansion up quick enough to where he could fortify it and actually do hit and runs. But what will he do this time? Is he going to mix it up? Is he going to switch heroes? I'm thinking he generally plays Blade still, but maybe he'll add a Shadow Hunter second instead of the TC. Or maybe he'll utilize the TC second differently. We'll see. But yeah, the first game, definitely not how he wanted it to go. So something needs to change in this game too. And on the other side, bottom right spawn, our blue night elf BeLit, aka fattsrussell, will likely be going Demon Hunter again. But we may or may not see the Pit Lord second again. I've seen him do Pit Lord quite often on Northern Isles. but he does mix it up on some of the other maps for sure. We could see Naga with potentially a tower push, or, you know, there's options there. We'll see what he decides to go for. But the opener, probably pretty standard for him. We're taking quite a bit of damage. And JDelrio does have a shop, so we'll likely be sniping the item again. On the other side, BeLit. Mostly done with this camp already. Gets ring +4. Pretty solid these days. And pretty solid against Orc, especially. Because Orc is mostly going to be right-clicking you down. So this is very valuable. 4 armor is a lot. Imagine being able to just double your armor from the first camp you creep. On the other side, Blade gets gauntlets, heads to the center, gets the circlet. No dust again from the first time he showed up. And he's going to try to sneak this turtle. Does he have to use the other windwalk? No, he gets it without even using the windwalk and gets Cloak of Shadows as his reward. Not the greatest, but there could be some value with it. Ooh, nice burn by BeLit right before the windwalk. JDelrio a little slow there. Will he go for the dust now? Does he sell the cloak? Cloak is sold, dust is purchased. And he wants to go back in. He has a speed scroll here as well, so he could very well take out... Ooh, I think he missed that one. I think BeLit got that one, or one, right? Okay, maybe the Blade actually got that. He's got 136 XP. That looked actually like the Blade missed, because I saw the turtle with like 1 health left. But maybe it's the elf hit that brought it to 1 health. BeLit going to get level 2 here now. And ring +3, but he leaves it behind. Is he going to go back for it now? He is. He's like, yo, give me that ring, bro. I got 12 armor. Look at these hits, dude. Did that Blade just hit for 16 damage? Imagine doing 26 to 48 and you hit for 16.
Player's forces are under attack.
I think that's what it looked like. This armor is so valuable. Now that being said, I've seen a lot of people selling rings, but personally I would highly recommend keeping them if you have melee heroes especially, but just in general if it's a ring 3 or 4, because they don't actually sell for very much. So unless you need the inventory space or have too many rings, they provide a lot of value. Claws +4. Not that much damage these days compared to the old Claw 6, but still some value. BeLit does have a lot of archers this time, so it might actually be a Naga archer push. And is JDelrio going to be ready for this? He does have his hero and both production buildings queued up pretty quickly, so he doesn't have to really worry about those getting cancelled. Not to mention the DH is not level 3 yet. And he has 3 grunts on the field. Will he be queuing up the brute strength upgrade? It is pretty strong. It's going up for a 4th grunt instead. Also, Warmail in a very interesting position. Now, even if these trees get chopped, it's like very blocked off here. Blade trying to snipe some wisps. TC is out. And BeLit's coming across with the DH Naga, but JDelrio should be somewhat aware of this. He did see like 5 or 6 archers already. No brute strength yet, but he does have 4 grunts, which is pretty powerful against this. But 1 grunt ensnared and attacking the creeps. I think it's on attack move right now. Or out of the control group. And the TC is just getting focused. JDelrio a little fumbly with this fight, not actually ready to engage, and suddenly he's lost 500 health on his TC before actually fighting. He's going to come back in now, wants to protect the burrow. If he can get on these archers, he can do a lot of damage, but still no brute strength. These grunts missing that extra 3 damage, missing that extra 125 health now, I think it is. But they do still do quite a lot of damage to archers. JDelrio tanking with his hero as well, which is huge. If you just buy potions and tank with your hero, the grunts will start cleaning up this ranged units. But the grunts are starting to fall now. They're hitting the wrong target on the DH. JDelrio now taking too much damage, not to mention Fairy Fire on his blade. TC going to fall. JDelrio speed scrolls away now and calls the GG. And just kind of caught off guard there. Oof. Rough loss there for JDelrio. I think honestly if he had a proper engagement with his grunt, like not ensnared at the creep, and his blade there right when he engaged, I think he could have easily fought that, especially if he brings in some peons for a bit of extra normal damage too, because the peons actually provide decent damage against archers. Yeah, that game too definitely looked like JDelrio kind of just got caught off guard, not expecting the attack right then, and just a little mismanagement of the engagement resulted in his TC like just tanking 500 damage before actually fighting. One of his grunts ensnared and loses like a couple hundred health. He never actually got the brute strength upgraded, which would have been huge. With 4 grunts, that would have been an extra, what is it, like 500 health across them, plus 12 damage, 3 on each. I think it's 125 health now on brute strength, right? They upped it from 100 to 125, I believe. But yeah, we'll see if he can turn it around here. JDelrio spawning top right will likely be going blade again, it seems. We do have the grunt opener at least, and the blade. And on the other side, BeLit mixing it up, going for a tavern hero opener and a greedy camp. This is very risky on this map in particular, because orcs generally play fairly aggressive on this map. Orcs generally don't like you to get beyond your first camp. After you get this first camp, they want to deny your other camps so you never get level 2. So the orcs just naturally gonna most often show up here and potentially punish this if BeLit actually creeps it at the start. Not to mention, I think JDelrio actually peon scouted in 1 or 2 of the previous games, but it looks like he valued the quick tech this time. No shop. So a bit of a difference. He's changing it up here. Going for the circlet purchase, but it will be the fast harass. However, it's going to be the fast harass with double circlet and going into the main, I think, which does leave the elf able to creep this. Now, the thing is, even if BeLit is able to creep this without being disturbed, it's a little more difficult to manage all the wisps while creeping this, right? You don't want to deny the golem especially. And once the grunt is here attacking as well, there's a lot of damage coming in. BeLit doesn't deny the grunt, gets a Sobi mask. Is he going to leave the trolls here? Or is he going to creep out the camp? The final trolls take quite a long time to kill, and that's, I think, a couple wisps down, maybe 3 down already. I think this is going to be a 4th wisp here. Or is he going to use the rest of the moonwells? Yeah, he's already almost drained his moonwells and lost, I believe, 3... No, he has like 4 wisp kills, and I think 1 was detonated. I think that's like 5 wisps down. We got double Ancient of War here. BeLit lost his AOW to creeps, tossing up 2 more AOWs. So he was able to creep this camp undisturbed, but you know, no direct contact. But the blade has already got 125 XP from wisp kills, canceled 2 AOWs, and this is all the Beastman has to show for it. This is huge. JDelrio is going to have a huge tech advantage, especially with BeLit, or especially with JDelrio teching so quickly this game. And this is the risky run of going for a greedy camp, even if the orc doesn't show up directly to the camp. If they show up to your base, it's pretty difficult to save the wisps and not deny any creeps, not lose your AOW, etc. Ooh, nice pickup here. Berserker for JDelrio, and that's going to allow him to cancel another building. He might take a little bit of damage on his blade, but the cancel is huge. And BeLit will probably just not even make this Ancient War, right? No, he's gonna still make it. 2 AOWs. I guess he feels pigeonholed into a lot of tier 1 because he's you know, literally stuck on tier 1 making wisps. So JDelrio on the other side, already tier 2. We got a Lodge and Bestiary this time. Lodge in response to the Beastmaster. He wants the Shaman instead of the Walkers to purge. Yeah, let me update the score as well. It is BeLit 2-0 so far. And the shop. Ooh, I didn't notice this. Because JDelrio didn't go for his normal early shop, he actually forgot to build it all together. And that's actually a big deal because he would really like to pop a few salves here and probably be aggressive again with the shadow. Or at least aggressive with the blade and the shadow creep separate. Either one would be viable. Yeah, honestly, mass raiders could also be okay here, especially with BeLit going archer heavy. There is no Hunter's Hall, late tier 2, and if it's just lots of archers, raiders perform pretty good because they just keep the archers in place, and blade can kill all the archers by themselves when there's only, you know, there's only this limited amount. When you're not on an expansion with tons of archers and tons of upgrades and alchemist support, they kind of just die to the blade. Ooh. Horde will spot BeLit. JDelrio needs to be a bit careful here. He doesn't actually have salves yet either. I don't think he lost any grunts, but he's... Okay, he does have... Oh no, the raider is stuck! He's gonna have to chop this tree. I think only one tree. Purge comes out, but one purge is not enough for the bear, and the bear's already over halfway timed out, and a second bear is summoned. Is JDelrio just in trouble against bears? This raider being stuck is a huge problem. The blade is going to be strong here, but he's getting bashed. He's getting bashed. Potions will be huge. Eventually the blade should be able to take out a lot of these archers with the little bit of grunt support he has, but his blade keeps getting bashed from the double bears. Blade will escape just barely. BeLit does not actually have any wisps at the lab to reveal. JDelrio does lose his shaman. The other shaman's still alive. Gets bashed. Gets focused down. He might lose this shaman. Escapes to the back. Bears, big hitbox, not able to fit through. And now it's just bears versus the orc army, and JDelrio is looking quite fine. He might lose this one grunt. Hopefully he can keep the other alive. Oh, needs to watch out for the bash again. These bears are huge. JDelrio really just needs to find the more recently summoned bear and purge that one. He's got another purge ready. He should be able to purge this bear and get rid of it. There will be another bear soon, but it looks like JDelrio. Oh my, the raiders! They're still stuck. He needs to chop a tree. Oh no, and now the Naga is on the field. BeLit finally hit his tier 2. Speed scroll used. Blade escapes with 7 health. JDelrio still has his shaman in the back, but the grunt misrallied. He's trying to salve the blade on the side, and grunt was left back there. Blade needs to be careful, needs to stay in windwalk. gets hit by the frost arrow. Salve is canceled, and he doesn't have any more salves on him. He's gonna have to walk here to his shop. Could go in with Wind Walk. He's being very conservative with his mana right now. Buys a potion of healing. Gonna go for the Naga. Might be the right call here. He's almost got mana for a Hex as well. TP will be passed. Speed Scroll used by JDelrio. He thought BeLit might start to run, but BeLit just TP'd out. And as sketchy as that looked for JDelrio there, this is kind of why. He's got 3 raiders here. His first purge was used on the wrong bear. The bear that was already 2/3 timed out. But now he's actually got mana. He'll be able to purge the future bears. He's gonna... Please get the raiders out. Oh no.
Town is under siege.
Oh no, he's just gonna call it. I don't think he had to call it. He's actually quite strong still. Like, doesn't he just win this fight by focusing the Naga? Like, JDelrio is literally winning here, in my opinion. Like, his 2 shaman can purge 1.5 bears. He's got a Shadow Hunter that's 2.6 with like 3 hexes available. Like, this Naga is dead. He won't be able to focus the peons, so the raiders are going to get out. I honestly think JDelrio wins that. Alright, here we go. Game 4. BeLit did already take the 3-0. But honestly, JDelrio had some chances. Especially last Refuge. I think was JDelrio's best showing. He got a ton of wisp kills at the start. He fought off BeLit's initial harass with his raiders even being stuck. But he didn't want to continue the fight after his raiders kept getting stuck. And it's definitely frustrating. He chopped like he chopped a couple trees down. They were still stuck, and he's just like, this sucks. It's understandable. But here we are, game 4. Let's see if we can turn this around. More practice for him for his next series tomorrow. He'll also be playing Dr. Jones in FoM League, I believe. But yeah, this game, bottom left spawn, BeLit will be going a standard build again. Probably Demon Hunter, but he might mix it up. That is going to be Demon Hunter. And the other side, JDelrio going with the blade once again. And no shop so far, but he might still throw it up. Yeah, looks like he's going to throw up the shop. So he will likely be trying to snipe an item here and then go to the shop, or maybe the whole camp. BeLit on the other side begins creeping his first camp. This little wolf is incredibly annoying, but nicely pulled this time and not really getting much damage on the archer other than the initial hits. And JDelrio going to tank with his grunt at the start, but switching aggro over to the blade, but taking a bit of damage on both the hero and the grunt, and will get a ring of protection. Ring of protection on both sides, actually. Going to be a lot of protection against these initial right clicks. And we have the tech. We have the second burrow put up pretty quickly as well. Sometimes this burrow is a lot later. I think he like saves his gold for circlets and dusk. But no circlets this time. Instead going for the harass. BeLit pulling back. I guess he saw the blade maybe? Ooh, and JDelrio misses the wolf. But he might be able to get the wisp and the moonwell. Grunt will be a distraction, but the wisp is nicely healed just in time by BeLit. And JDelrio trying to keep his distance, doesn't want to get burned. Grunt spotting where the archers go. And the blade's going to go back in. Moonwell was never cancelled either. DH was too close. He didn't want to get burned down, but he might just go for a couple wisp kills here. It looks like he will get one. But can he actually get more? It looks like the Demon Hunter's going to show up. So a Windwalk will likely be used. But the mana burn goes off in time, and JDelrio is now effectively out of mana and not able to really harass like he wants anymore.
A town is under siege.
He might still poke the one wisp from the outside here. But it looks like he's going to follow the elf army instead. Misses the Windwalk damage. Gets burned for 28. But he will be seeing where BeLit goes. He has a third burrow coming. He's got 2 grunts out, third grunt on the way. And Blade's just trying to slow down the DH. I don't hate this. If his focus is just to keep the DH low level, then this was fine. Sometimes the orcs will swap levels. They'll you know, creep their own camps while the elf creeps their own camps. Both get level 3. But it looks like JDelrio is going to actually do a little bit of split creeping here. Grunts, there are enough of them now with the earlier burrows he had this game. They can just creep with the grunts by themselves and then salve up after. The only sketchy part is if the blades, or if the DH starts chasing in with boots like this. But I think JDelrio is going to be strong enough against just this DH. If the grunts were a little bit weaker, that could have been a little scary with the DH just chasing. But nicely done to just turn on the DH and get that bit of damage in. Oh, salves might get cancelled here. Trying to go for the burn. Does get the burn. Pretty long range there, actually. And Blade's just going to keep running from the DH. Meanwhile, it is going to be Pit Lord once again for BeLit. Pit Lord already almost level 2, but sitting at half health, and the archers left behind so far. TC for the Orc. And Bestiary Totem. Will JDelrio manage to get his expansion up this time? Maybe get some spiked barricades, reinforced defenses, and towers?
Player's forces are under attack.
The previous attempt on Northern Isles didn't work out for him. His expansion was a little too late. He never really got to fortify it. But this game he might be able to, if he can actually clear this gold mine a bit earlier. I almost wonder if maybe he should be creeping this gold mine earlier on in the game with his blade. Just so it's just open for the whole game. And he can like expand whenever he feels like it. But right now he's reliant on the TC at some point creeping it, but so far the TC goes for a small camp and now potentially going for the shop camp, which is not ideal. Ooh, maybe going to go for a surround? Do we have ensnare? I don't think we have ensnare just yet. It must be mid-research, but it's going to be too late. The DH has boots, will be able to escape, and now the TC has lost so much time. TC showed up to push the Demon Hunter away, but that's just lost creeping time. Meanwhile, the Pit Lord is getting free reign. He's already going to be level 3 off this camp. Circlet picked up, Ring of Superiority, not bad items at all. And yeah, level 3 for the Pity. On the other side, JDelrio only just now reaching 2. does have War Mill and another burrow coming and is likely going to try to throw up an Expo, but his wood count is a little low for it. And he needs a lot more levels because BeLit is about to hit his tier 3 timing. I mean, he's got level 3 Pit Lord stacked with items. He's got 2 bears about to pop out. Should already have Adept, I believe. Oh, but we're going to have a little engagement here. This could be JDelrio's chance to snipe some of the archers and prevent BeLit from getting any more presence on the map until the bears are actually out. Ooh, nice forced TP there. But BeLit does have the bears out, and the bears kind of just change everything. There needs to be towers here already coming up soon, I think. Otherwise these bears are just gonna walk right through and destroy that. However, JDelrio does have double speed scroll, and this could be his way in to stay in the game still. The key here is to likely hit BeLit's base after this camp and just do hit and runs. Speed scroll in or speed scroll out whenever BeLit shows up, and just run around and pop back in afterwards. BeLit did add a keeper that one game, but no keeper added so far this game. We'll see if he decides to add it after spotting the expansion. But yeah, it is going to be JDelrio running in. You might be able to snipe the shop, which would actually be pretty nice. If you snipe the shop like this, it means the elf has to head over to the shop first to buy another TP. Oh, and the Dryads. Dryads kind of caught out too. No TP actually used from BeLit. He will actually save his TP. And the shop wasn't actually even killed either. JDelrio keeping his speed scrolls too and just gonna go for the kills. He's gonna snipe the Dryad. Will he try to snipe the archers as well, or is he gonna speed scroll out? He's losing a raider in return, taking some damage on one of these walkers from the archers. Nice piercing damage on it, but nice morph from JDelrio. However, maybe staying around too long. Can't take a prolonged fight against this army anymore with the Pit Lord that strong. Going to lose a grunt. And without towers here, I think this just opens up BeLit to counterattack. I don't hate going for the first Dryad, but I think then JDelrio just needed to pull back, kill the shop, pull all the way back, and just keep his presence known. Like, make it so BeLit doesn't feel confident to move out. Or if BeLit does move out, he just goes right back in. But now, I mean, he does have a little bit of time with BeLit not going straight to the Expo. Is BeLit making a big mistake here? DH is a bit low on health. Can we get disenchant on this rejuve? No, it's just going to be the speed scroll out. JDelrio not quite comfortable to fight yet, but he does have a lot of supply and a heal scroll, but the Pit Lord is so scary. Like, the Pit Lord is such a problem here. But if he can get the Kodo to eat, if he can get the walkers to focus down the bears, he can actually do decent damage. But the TC is just surrounded. Nice stomp, but the TC might fall soon after from the focus fire. However, the cleave is not hitting very much. Really only the TC, maybe the raiders getting caught a little. And the walker's going to work on the Pit Lord. He's focusing the Pit Lord, but the Pit Lord's got the invuln. Oh, now putting the walkers on the bears. The bears are starting to fall. The Devour goes off. The bears are falling really quick now. Finally, JDelrio gets the focus fire that he needed. And with the expansion to back it up, JDelrio's not looking too bad here. I think if he focused the bears a little bit sooner instead of the Pit Lord that has double ring, circlet ring of superiority, like I think he actually could have even won that fight harder. He was actually at a pretty decent timing where he bumped up to 57 food, had a heal scroll against BeLit's only like, 48 to 50 food or whatever it was. But there is no spiked barricades. and no towers. The burrow also not completed yet. And BeLit might be finding a timing with these bears. He can see JDelrio creeping here because 2 bears are still being devoured. He knows JDelrio is out of position with the site provided. And he's just going to go in. And this is huge. I don't think BeLit can really fight, but he's going to get the damage done that he needs, which is killing all the peons, preventing the mining, and then just potentially TP out. Or is he going to try to fight? He needs to get Raider focus fire on the Dryads and Walkers on this bear. And he also needs to be careful not to lose his Kodos. His BeLit might actually just be strong enough though with this Pit Lord. This Pit Lord's level 4 with crazy items. Is the Pit Lord just going to carry everything? Oh no. Pity Lord. I think the Pit Lord's just too strong here. And yeah, Chi-Chi is called. A nice previous fight. But then a little bit out of position. TC was still not back. And no towers were thrown up. I guess he was a little bit short on his wood, but even just like 1 tower plus spiked barricades would make a huge difference in defending here. Because then whenever BeLit comes in, you just ensnare something, keep it in range. But yeah. Close. But in the end, it will be BeLit once again taking the victory. Alright, here we go with game 5. BeLit has been taking all the games so far, but there were definitely a couple close ones, particularly in the last 2 matches. So I think JDelrio is getting stronger and stronger as the series goes on so far. So we'll see if he can pull out a win in this final game. Or is it going to be the clean sweep for BeLit? BeLit, of course, looking pretty strong here, but a little vulnerable the last couple games. We did see a lot of the bears dying that last game. A couple were still getting devoured, but you know, there's definitely opportunity for JDelrio. However, the Pit Lord has just been able to freely creep. He's got level 4, I think, both times when he was picked up, and you know, once Pit Lord starts reaching like level 4, he's pretty strong. I mean, he's already pretty strong once you reach like level 3. When you start getting 4, 5, etc., it's like, how do you kill this guy? And we're going to have a different strategy this game. It's going to be the Shadow Hunter. This, to me, indicates probably some sort of all-in. I'm curious if JDelrio is going to go for like just creep to level 3. Get level 2 Serpent Wards, and then tower push, or if he's going to try to do something else. And will BeLit actually scout it? Because I think after the initial Wisp scout, he doesn't actually bring the Wisp back in. But he might not actually spot this for a while. Yeah, this Wisp doesn't have much vision either. So he might not even see the shadow for a while. He does have a Demon Hunter though, so if he is able to spot this and go aggressive, he could be very strong. Shadow Hunter without Hex against a Demon Hunter early on is pretty painful for the Orc. But if he's able to just creep freely and the Shadow Hunter gets levels, he can actually be quite strong. I'm not sure if this Wisp spotted the Serpent Wards from here. But it looks like BeLit's just going to creep. Level 2 for the DH. Ring and gloves. Ring of Superiority, not bad. Although generally you prefer your main attribute more. With slippers instead for the DH. And on the other side, gloves and gauntlet. It's okay. A little bit of extra health against the demon hunter is not necessarily bad. But probably something like mantle for the extra mana would be better. And we're going to see a lot of heal salves picked up. No clarity picked up yet. But he might want one for the future if he does indeed go for a push. BeLit on the other side, just going to do a level 3 creep route. So he's going to creep this, maybe snipe the tome here or the ogre mid to get 3. Probably just the tome. Meanwhile, JDelrio setting up some snakes. Potentially a little bit different position over here. Could be even better to be closer to this camp. Creep both camps with the same snakes. But you can probably pull the camp around this far. They do have 600 range, so you can pull it over. Yeah, he's got snakes starting to get positioned now. But he's going to have to hit the creeps twice with his shadow and pull it here. Because otherwise the ogre doesn't even chase. And the other ones just sleep. Yeah, there we go. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter already level 3, did creep the small crab and murloc camp. And he should be around tier 2 as well. Ancient War in position for the next camp if he wants. We do have a Hunter's Hall, so it will probably be lures. Now I'm not sure if BeLit is actually aware of the Shadow Hunter at all. The Wisp has scouted the base a couple times, but I don't think it's actually seen the Shadow. Shadow Hunter is level 3 now. Sentry Ward's on the ground. BeLit trying to go in for the mana burn and will get the mana burn. Speed scroll out. Can JDelrio get healed up quick enough? Demon Hunter is going to be a bit of a problem for the Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter also went for Heal Wave instead of Hex. So that does allow the Demon Hunter to just run in whenever he wants with boots and just put pressure on the Shadow. Oh. And it's going to be Pit Lord for JDelrio as well. Pit Lord versus Pit Lord. Which Pit Lord comes out on top in the end? So this is probably the reason for Heal Wave. He wants to just straight up fight with lots of levels. I think for a push, maybe he could have gone Hex instead of Heal Wave, and then something like Tinker or Beastmaster second, and pushed with Snakes plus Quills or Snakes plus Factory. But yeah, it does seem to just be both sides going to creep. Try to get their Pit Lord as high level as possible. Shadow Hunter going to get burned here. Huge burn. Shadow Hunter low mana. And yeah, this is the problem. Before you have Raiders, and if you don't have Hex, the DH just comes right in and does whatever he wants. It's so difficult to stop him with only this army. You don't have the blade to just constantly right click him down for big damage. You don't have the Hex to stop him. The Raiders are not quite out yet, but they will be soon. And he's trying to creep jack. Ooh. JDelrio hiding in the back. And BeLit's just gonna creep. What's happening? JDelrio being very passive here. Looks like he doesn't really want to creep this yet. But he wants BeLit to think that he went somewhere else. Yeah, the Raider's just trying to bait him away somewhere else, but BeLit should know this is happening, and he does go back with the DH. The Pit Lord already pulled back, though, and is not going to be here for the full creep jack. DH is just going to walk in. Item and XP did go to the Orc, though. And other than the Grunt being lost to the creeps themselves, this wasn't so bad for JDelrio. And he has some nice items on the Pit Lord. Oh, huge mana burn on this Walker as well. Oh, and finally, Ensnare coming in. BeLit wants to TP right away.
A player's forces are under attack.
Maybe he's not aware that there's no Hex. Or maybe he just didn't want to take any damage. Pit Lord, Wand of Mana Stealing, not ideal, but we'll be able to sell that for more units, which is also not bad. And the Pit Lord's 3 once again. DH also has been 3 for a while.
Forces are under attack.
Bears are coming out. Master training on the way. Gonna be able to pick up staff and orb. And JDelrio still has quite a while until his Pit Lord is 3 himself. But if he can reach 4-3 on the Shadowhunter Pit Lord, he will also be quite strong. The problem is he's running out of camps. All that's really left are the reds, and this middle red is probably going to be contested. BeLit is likely going to come here as well because, I mean, he just can't really creep the fountain very easily. And he's got his Ancient War already positioned here. Creeps are woken up. It is pulled by JDelrio, ensnared by JDelrio, but does he have enough damage to kill this quick enough? DH here is a huge problem as well because the mana burn can snipe the kill. And he does. I think, wait, I think the XP actually might have gone to JDelrio still. It looked like the mana burn killed, but I think it actually went to the pity and the shadow. Not to mention the item, Legion Doomhorn is huge here. Move speed aura, life regen, not too bad. But this army is scary. 3/3 heroes, orb, triple bear. One bear is softened up a lot though. JDelrio getting his own Pit Lord in the back, but his Pit Lord is nowhere near as tanky without the rejuve support or the bear damage support or the any of that, and does scare the archers away. And now going for the bears, but the walker's taking too much damage. If these walkers can survive and just poke at the bears from far, they could be crucial, but brought a little too far forward in range of cleave. And BeLit cleans up the walkers. Now the raiders cleaned up in the back line, and JDelrio just a little too low on levels. Not able to get the victory in this one. If he had managed to get 4-3 before this fight, I think he would have actually been decently strong. But he was like 3.7 and 2.5 before the fight, so it was a little off. He really needed like one more camp there, and then he might have been pretty strong. Because the next level ups are actually huge, right? He gets the level 2 heal wave that he's actually utilizing with Pit Lord tanking up front. And he gets the level 2 cleave, so he can actually have a lot of return damage. But just not being able to get that is a problem.